MKLeo at EVO 2019.
Trying to go low. Can he spike it? He mistimes it. He grabs the ledge, and with that, MKLeo defeats Tweak.
Mars at Genesis.
Lining up the back airs. Tries to get him to the side. Oh my God! No 4P jet defeat!
Armada at the first Genesis. These are just a few instances of legendary tournament runs that everyone knows about, and today I want to dive into some forgotten tournament runs that were legendary at the time, but the games have passed and the eyes are not on them as much. Today, we're talking about Abadango. So now, let's set the stage. Abadango was considered the best Wario in Japan in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. However, he never made any worldwide rankings in terms of top 20s or even the 2014 SSBB rank, which was kind of like the end of the Brawl was out era. But that doesn't mean he wasn't amazing. He had great placements in Japan and again was considered one of their strongest players, just not necessarily in the international scene. As Brawl's time came to a close and Smash 4 was released, Abadango was an immediate threat. The first super major of the game, Apex 2015, Abadango placed top 8, losing finally to Dabuz in what would be known as the reason that Smash 4 was a 2-stock game and not a 3-stock game. A best of 3 set went to a 24-minute VOD. That's kinda crazy. He had amazing placements later in that year, highlighted with a 4th place at EVO 2015, but multiple top 8 placements in Japan at Umeburas and KSBs. But at that time in Smash 4, Abadango was a Pac-Man main. He used Pac-Man at EVO, he used Pac-Man at Apex, and he was using Pac-Man for all of these major wins. So what changed? Obviously, as the meta developed in that game, Pac-Man was shown to be not a great character, and with the slews of buffs and nerfs and DLC, Abadango became interested in a different character, Meta Knight. His Meta Knight first saw play at his first win in Japan at Umebura 19, and it would also be a large contributor to his 7th place at the Big House 5. Abadango is seen to be one of the main reasons Meta Knight got nerfed in that game. Of course, he was still a good character, but he was a menace at the beginning of the game along the likes of Sheik, Diddy Kong, Rosalina, and Zero Suit Samus. The world knew he was good, but something would happen that would change the trajectory of this player's history forever. Mewtwo is a fan-favorite character in Melee, even if in tournament play he isn't seen very often. He drew people in with his awesome hit effects, and being in Melee during the height of early Pokemon generations really catapulted this Pokemon's popularity. The main runs of him in Melee are off the back of Taj in the old days and of course Leffen. While he didn't return for Brawl in favor of the new legendary Pokemon Lucario as well as Pokemon Trainer, he was brought back for Smash 4. However, just like in Melee, his release form was less than desired from a tournament strength perspective. He was often seen as, at best, a low tier along with Falco, Shulk, Lucas, and Game & Watch. If you only know Smash 4 for what the final meta was, that might confuse you as he was universally considered top 10 at the end of the game. Well, what changed? At around the same time Meta Knight was getting nerfed, Mewtwo was getting buffed. In a few patches in a row, Mewtwo got buffed. On release, he was very light, wasn't that fast, had malfunctioning hitboxes with his Nair, and overall just didn't have a functional kit. Early patches lowered the landing lag on his neutral air before getting lowered again in a later patch. The 1.1.3 patch was especially huge for Mewtwo as it buffed all of this. He got a huge speed increase across the board with his walk, dash, and airspeed. His forward air became faster, so it was a more reliable combo and kill move. So in this patch, he was quite a bit better, but the pieces weren't put together yet, and they wouldn't until patch 1.1.5 a few months later. Mewtwo got another dash speed increase, he became heavier by 2 units, and the piece that put it all together was his neutral air hitboxes got around 30% bigger. Multi-hits, of course, are always prone to falling out in every Smash game, and Mewtwo had a bad case of this with his neutral air, but this patch basically fixed the issue entirely. So now Mewtwo went from a weird charge shot character with a good down tilt to a character with great combos, strong out of shield, an amazing neutral, and a tricky disadvantage for all characters, along with always having arguably the best kill throw in the game, in his up throw. All these buffs, coupled with the Meta Knight nerfs mainly to his up air ladders, propelled Abadango to pursue Mewtwo much more seriously. The final patch affecting Mewtwo came out on March 15th of 2016, and Pound 2016 was right around the corner, and it was going to be his character's first real showing. Abadango dispatched his pool quickly with the Mewtwo, including wins on Pew Pew U and Average Joe, so he advanced very easily to the next wave. While the opponents in his next wave would be harder in Seagull Joe and K9S Bruce, he still dispatched them quite easily, although he dropped his first game of the bracket against K9.
The Japanese menace. cutting him down.
The Mewtwo was showing off amazing tech and consistency in a game very difficult to be consistent in, especially because this was post Bayonetta and Cloud's release, so the meta of this game had shifted greatly. Abadango was able to use his great spacing tools and timing mix-ups as well as consistent killing to dominate everyone he played against. The top 16 would be his first real threat when he had to fight against one of the world's best, Dabuz. While Abadango had only used Mewtwo up until this point, Dabuz was a different beast, and while Mewtwo eventually was seen to be a good matchup against Rosalina, Meta Knight was a character that everyone knew did well versus Rosalina because her floaty nature still made her get ladder comboed, unlike most other characters after the nerf of Meta Knight, so this was Abadango's pick. Game 1 was back and forth, Abadango's Meta Knight versus Dabuz's Rosalina and Luma, and Abadango, after thinking he would get a kill from a ladder combo, doesn't, fast falls to try to get back to the ground but misses the ledge. Game 1 Dabuz. Game 2, Abadango ends it with a ladder combo off the top. Again, this is why the matchup was so rough for Rosalina. 1-1. Game 3, a dash attack at 22% puts Abadango at an early lead with a ladder combo. And the second stock was just as fast. One ladder combo for percent, doesn't kill, and Abadango immediately gets a follow-up. 2-1 Abadango. Game 4, Abadango SDs in the first 4 seconds, but brings it back with a ladder combo about 30 seconds later. But Dabuz, the king of fundies, walled Abadango out and ledge camped so Abadango could not get any huge ladder combos, so Dabuz takes it to a crucial Game 5. Everything looks like it's going right for Dabuz, but an Add a Shield up air leads to an early stock on Dabuz. Abadango has the lead, and while Dabuz brings it back and almost gets the stock on this crazy Rosalina Luma up air, Abadango ends up finding the final hit, propelling him into top 8.
By the skin of his teeth, Abadango.
Before we continue, I want to ask that you subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing videos like this more because there are a lot of hidden runs that people have forgotten about, and I find it very interesting, so let me know down in the comments who you want me to talk about or what runs you want me to talk about. I already have one more in production. So what was Abadango's Mewtwo able to do in these final sets? Well, a lot of it was based around this neutral air being an Add a Shield punish, a great combo starter, and one of the most potent kill confirms in the game. Let's talk about Nair Footstool Disable.
Like what?
Oh no! My God! He did it! No way! He did it! That was sick!
Because of the buffs on Mewtwo's Nair, it was basically a very strong drag down option similar to what you would see in Ultimate with Pikachu's Nair. As an approach, Mewtwo could do a dash forward raw neutral air, and based on how Mewtwo is moving in the air, most of the time the neutral air would drag you into Mewtwo and have you facing towards him. Since Mewtwo did a turnaround in his raw, it would mean that you were actually facing each other, which would allow one of the most deadly kill confirms in the game. Mewtwo's neutral air was just plus enough on hit that he was able to link it into a footstool, double jump backwards into down B, which canceled his double jump momentum, putting you in a stunned state so he could charge an up smash, down smash, forward smash, whatever he wanted, but typically an up smash because that move was ridiculously strong in Smash 4. Abadango was just a killing machine with this, getting so many early stocks and making people play hesitant around that neutral air at mid percents, which of course opened up the down tilt and shadow ball game for Abadango, chipping his opponents away at higher percents until he got kills with either normal up smash out of shield, forward air, or the very potent up throw. Abadango could just consistently get kills against all of his opponents as he 3-0'd Void's Sheik and then was in winners finals against Mars. While Zero Suit Samus was of course no joke in Smash 4, Abadango was able to get a low percent one-stock victory Game 1, Mars counterpicked to Dreamland and got a nail-biter here. Side note, I find it hilarious that Mars hit this up B and then didn't pop off until the final hit because the move was so finicky in Smash 4 that even getting the hit didn't make it sure that you actually were going to get the kill with the move. So funny. Let's continue. Game 3 on Town and City was incredibly back and forth for Abadango and Mars, but that patented Nair into Footstool Disable clutched Abadango the game.
Oh my Lord! Jesus! Stop! Good Lord!
Stop this man!
The combination of Mewtwo's evasiveness with his air dodges and his speed, of course with his neutral being down tilt, neutral air, and shadow ball, were just too much for Mars to overcome at this moment, and Abadango took this set 3-1. The final moment being Abadango abusing some RCO lag that Zero Suit Samus had after her up B into a weak up tilt up smash combo, cementing himself in grand finals. And solid walling out, great advantage states, and the amazing kill potential of Mewtwo was able to get Abadango's victory over one of the best Mario players in the world at the time to cement his Pound 2016 victory, shaking up the world of Smash 4 as we knew it.
Being the champion of Smash 4 for Pound 2016.
Mewtwo would become a much more staple character in terms of counterpicks and results, as Abadango considered to get results, and there were other amazing Mewtwo players that would rise up the ranks in the following years. This win, among many other results, catapulted Abadango to very high rankings on the PGR, being as high as 5th on the first iteration of the PGR. His lowest ever placement being 15th on the PGR 4 and 5. And of course, Abadango as we know him is a legend in Japanese Smash, and I hope that this illuminated one of his most influential tournament runs, both to his own career and success, but also to Mewtwo and Smash in general. Thank you all for watching, I appreciate it, have a wonderful rest of your day.